In this video, we're going to look at how to use the cosine rule to calculate an angle. So this is following on from our first lesson on using the cosine rule to calculate the length of a side. Once again, unlike the sine rule actually, the sine rule is just one formula. The cosine rule can be split up into two separate formulae. The cosine rule to calculate an angle is given by this formula here. Once again, this is given to you in your formula list, but you can just get this noted down for me just now. One thing that's important to look out for here is hopefully see that this here is the angle. So if you're wanting to use the one that's working out the angle, you're using this formula. Whereas the other formula, it was a squared equals, and this is the length of a side because it's a lowercase, where here we've got a capital which stands for the angle that we're looking for. Okay, so we're going to be using the cosine rule to calculate this. Unlike the sine rule, when to use that calculate an angle is really straightforward to identify when we use the cosine rule, because when we have a look at our example here, example 1, we know to use the cosine rule here because we know all three sides. If we want to work out an angle and we know all three sides, we use the cosine rule. In the sine rule, you would have like two matching pairs of information again, where one of them was unknown. But for the cosine rule, if you know all three sides to work out an angle, that's the cosine rule. Okay, so our formula, if you can just copy this down for me. Our formula for the cosine rule is cos A, this is for an angle, is equal to b squared plus c squared minus a squared over 2bc. So in this example, we want to work out angle x. So it makes sense if we want to work out the angle, I'm going to put a there. I'll put b here and c here. It's not particularly important where b and c go, but it's just going to, if you do that, it'll make your decision, you're working through a bit easier. Don't need to worry about relabeling. Okay, so I've got angle A, so across from that is side A. Angle B across from that is side B. Angle C across from that, side C. And then from here, it's just a case of more or less substituting into our formulae. I'm just going to move this over a little bit so I've got more space. There we go. So we're going to have cos x degrees is equal to 30 squared plus 20 squared subtract 15 squared over 2 times 30 times 20. Now I usually put that guy in a bracket as well. Okay, when we work through this, what we're going to do is we're going to type the right hand side into our calculator. If we've done this properly, we should get a number that is 0 point something. So it's going to be 0.895833. So that's what cos of the angle is. To work out the angle itself, we'll do inverse cos to both sides. 0.895833. Once again, just do shift cos ans. In this case, don't clear your calculator. Working through, that's going to be 26.384. And if we do that to one decimal place, that's going to be 26.4 degrees, because we've just worked out an angle here. Okay, so this is how we're working through the cosine rule to calculate an angle. When we're wanting to calculate an angle, we use the formula that is denoted by cos of capital A. Okay, hopefully this task is okay and you can work through it quite confidently. Remember, at this stage here, you should always be expecting 0 point something. Thank you very much.